Good afternoon. Welcome to episode 16 of the Blunt Talk Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Wright, coming to you from the beautiful and cloudy confines of Atlantic City, New Jersey. Wherever you may be watching or listening, I thank you as always. As always, like, share, and subscribe. It helps the channel. And I just wanted to touch over some of the NFL news and notes and post-draft notes that I thought may have been of interest to me and to you. And as always, I thank you guys for watching, and I just want to hop right into it. Going into it, first and foremost, first bit of news that I thought that caught my attention, that was something that was like kind of a red flag. Not too much of a shock, but a red flag. Najee Harris's fifth-year option was declined by the Steelers. You know what's crazy? It's funny because whenever I watch Najee Harris run, I get the sense that it looks like he's running underwater, or he's running with like two pairs of jeans on, or it's like it's a struggle for him to run. I don't know. From that rookie season to now, the production's been iffy. He has been 1,000-yard back, but as we know, that in today's NFL, getting 1,000-yard back is not special. Can the guy go for 13, 14, 1,500 yards possibly? That's something that's more like those benchmarks. But again, he's in the offense that he's running. He's doing the job that he's entailed. But I'm not shocked that the Steelers did this. I think this is the right move. You had Warren come in, and he's played well. The Steelers are known for bringing guys in and playing well. So this is imperative for Najee Harris. This is a make-or-break year. He's basically, for lack of better words, he's playing for his supper. So, it's going to be crucial for him. I'm not really too shocked by the move. I think this is the right move by the Steelers. So Najee Harris is either put up or shut up, man. It's going to be very crucial for him this year. Going a step further, article that came across my attention for Pro Football Talk over the weekend that I thought, I think it was Friday or Saturday, but something of interest that I thought, I want to definitely discuss. Kirk Cousins' contract. Now, there is a big disclaimer, for lack of better words, out there that there's no way for the Falcons to get off Kirk Cousins' contract. I was led to believe that as well. I do know how to read a salary cap. I do know how to read, contractual breakdowns and cap breakdowns. However, I read a number and thought that was the number, and I may have reported to you previously some information that might have been inaccurate, and I want to apologize for that. What is it that I'm saying? Let me explain. I've stated to you previously that it would cost them $90 million for the Atlanta Falcons to get off Kirk Cousins. That is not a lie. That is actually factual. However, thanks to Mike Florio at Pro Football Talk, I want to make sure I give Mike Florio credit. He did a deep dive and breakdown on what this is going to look like for the Atlanta Falcons, and it's actually a lot easier than we thought. I'll get right into it. Looking at the contract, for the Falcons to get off the contract this season, the cap hit would only be $25 million for next year. So this year, he's getting paid $62.5 million. So obviously, he's going to play this season. He's going to be there this season. They decide to get off of him next year. The cap hit is essentially $25 million. So essentially, you're paying him, you figure 87.5, rounded out $90 million. That's where the $90 million comes up. You figure $87.5 million for 2 years. Make no mistake, I kind of forgot this. Teams don't give a flying shit about eating salary if they want to get off a player. Literally, we just watched the Broncos eat 60 to 63 million to get off Russell Wilson. The way the cap is going up, the way contracts are going up, I naively thought, well, there's no way. The number is going up. So it doesn't matter what the number is now. 5-10 years from now, the number's going to be even bigger when they want to get off a guy. So that's an illusion. What I thought and suspected was true. Terry Fontenot was trying to save his job, cutting off his nose to spite his face, or in his case, saving his ass, because he knew, Kirk Cousins wasn't going to be his savior. So this will be very interesting how this plays out. I'm very interested to see how Kirk Cousins talks when he talks to the media again, how he feels, since his, warm welcoming into Atlanta. And, it's going to be very, very interesting. They created a very awkward situation for no fucking reason. But we're going to see, because now that I know that and reading that cap breakdown, Yeah, they can easily get off of them and they've done it before. Like, the thing that people also don't realize too, Atlanta has a history of eating huge cap charges. They did it with Matt Ryan. They did it with Julio Jones. So they're not averse to this. This is not new territory to them. So, again, very interesting to see. This one, though, caught my eye. This one I caught from two separate websites. I got this article from Pro Football Talk and Bleacher Report. And it was something that really caught my eye so much that I really wanted to talk to you guys about. And this is for my Steelers fans out there. By all means, any guys out there, people out there that are Steelers fans, by all means, comment on this. I really want your opinion on this wholeheartedly. I have no dog in this fight, as y'all know. Listening to Willie Colon speak on the Craig Carton show on FS1, he stated that Mike Tomlin is on the hot seat. Comments like that, definitely have to come with some type of flair, some type of, legitimacy. Willie Colon, being a veteran for that team, has some legitimacy. And comments reads as follows, and I want to make sure that I'm quoting the words correctly, so I will read off what he said on the show. When you talk about the overall record, you talk about in 17 seasons, he has an 8-10 playoff record. Only 4 seasons with playoff wins. And some he's had a bona fide quarterback with Ben Roethlisberger. Bona fide team, even with Ben Roethlisberger. The issue with Mike Tomlin right now is he wins games he's supposed to win, but he loses games he shouldn't. Go back to this year. He lost to the New England Patriots and Arizona Cardinals. He had no business losing those games. And now still the nation is frustrated because they're looking at an organization right now that is well above average and that lose bonehead games. I'm saying to myself, who are the Pittsburgh Steelers? Are they the bullies or are they the dweebs right now? If you lost to the Patriots and the Cardinals, you look like the dweebs. End quote. This is something that I think comes up continuously when, every season things don't go right. And when you're coaching, quarterbacking, whatever, I'm just going to speak to coaching because I was talking about Mike Tomlin. When you're coaching a franchise that is storied as the Steelers, championships, pedigree, the Hall of Famers, the tradition, the culture, it comes with a level of expectations. Like it is when you're coaching the Cowboys, like it is when you're coaching the Yankees or the Packers or some of these dynastic franchises that we've seen throughout sports history, to name a few. That being said, I need people to really understand something. If you get rid of Mike Tomlin, who exactly are you replacing him with? There's a reason Mike Tomlin has been there for 17 years. There has been no legitimate bona fide answer to replace him. I am looking at a man who, yes, playoff resume, yes, 8-10. I get all that. I get all that. Super Bowl win, all that. Super Bowl appearance and a loss, all that. I get it. Here's the thing, though. The quarterback position has been terrible. Some of that lies on Mike Tomlin, yes. Offensive coordinator, more on him than anything. I blame definitely Mike Tomlin for that. The defenses have been your saving grace, Pittsburgh. The quarterback position, there has not been a quarterback since Ben left. And everyone knew that until you have a quarterback, you're really going to be in kind of like limbo. And I need people to realize, in the AFC North, this man had this team at 500 or in the playoffs with no elite quarterback in the I said NFC twice. AFC North. In the AFC North, he had no quarterback. None. And he had to win this division or contend or make the playoffs with Kenny Pickett, Mason Rudolph, and whoever the hell else they pull out of their damn, confines at their practice facility. This is insane. The fact that he's on a hot seat, no. No, if anything, it needs to be turned down. If anything, now that you know, okay, you see that this guy's went and tried to grab Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. I have my opinions on Russell Wilson. Yes, I think Russell is probably done. I think it's a good chance, the guy that we saw from a couple years ago is not going to be there. Hell, last year he was serviceable, but, he wasn't great. But keep in mind, put him on that Steelers roster last year, they still make the playoffs. Do they beat Buffalo? Probably not. They're in the same situation. So I'm looking at Justin Fields. He's technically the guy that you hope really takes the next step, but you don't even know if he takes the next step because he's now with another offensive coordinator, another voice, another guy in his ear. Does he grow? Arthur Smith, the only claim to fame that he has is really grooming Ryan Tannehill from Tennessee. So it's very interesting, these comments. It's very interesting, the timing of all of this. There was questions about him leaving after the playoff loss to Buffalo. It just seems to me that they're very quick to try to throw Mike Tomlin out when I get it. We all want to be Super Bowl champions at the end of the day. We want our team to win. We want to be number one, but not everybody's going to be number one. And Pittsburgh, y'all got to be realistic. This is your culture. Y'all draft well on defense. Y'all draft well at wide receiver. Y'all just started repairing your offensive line within the past 2 years. Grabbing Isaac Samalo, grabbing the guard Fontanu this year. You just started repairing your offensive line. You haven't had a quarterback since Ben left. So what expectations of a Super Bowl did Mike Tomlin honestly have? Excuse me. What expectations of a Super Bowl did he honestly have? I'm confused. Sometimes there's this false dichotomy that exists where it's like we're a great team, and because our history is Super Bowl or bust, it's every year that's the same. You were never Super Bowl or bust within the past 2 years. You would be happy just to make the playoffs, and you've done that. So again, now let's actually continue to add talent to this roster, and now let's see. New offensive coordinator, right? New blood in that quarterback, right? You heard Warren talk on Cam Hayward's podcast saying, there's new life, there's just a new attitude, a new energy. Allow these things to play out before we start talking this hot seat shit again. It's just very convenient whenever this comes up with Mike Tomlin. He always seems to come up on a hot seat, but I keep seeing the team contain. I keep seeing the team make the playoffs. It's just weird. Sometimes I think our expectations as fans, is just very, very irrational. But Steelers fans, like I said, comment. Let me know what your opinion is on this. Is Mike Tomlin truly on a hot seat? I don't believe he is. Next, I tell you a team that is on a hot seat, though. Dallas Cowboys. We're getting into something I definitely want to touch on. This has been floated around and talked about over the past few weeks, but there was finally some actual, real, concrete information delivered Sunday morning. And happy Cinco de Mayo to my Mexican people out there. Definitely. But nonetheless, I want to get to the report. This report comes from Bleacher Report and from ESPN's Jeremy Fowler, the two sources that confirm this. But it appears that the Cowboys' negotiations with Dak are just damn near, let's just say, non-existent. They're willing to sit on the $61 million and just eat it for this year and let him play it through. But what's really startling to me is they want to get the quarterback situation solved before they pay CeeDee Lamb. I get it. They want Dak back. They want Dak in the fold. They want to ensure that they got him situated. Then you take care of CD, Micah, so on and so forth. I don't think they really realize, unless you're willing to pay Dak, what is the conversation? Because if you're willing to eat $61 million this year, that obviously means you're willing to pay him, right? But if you didn't want to rework the contract this year, and you're saying you want things to play out, how can I believe that you really want to pay him next year, depending on how things go this year? This is just a clusterfuck. I mean, we're going to pay CD and Micah after we pay Dak. This smells very New York Giants-ish, y'all. My Cowboys fans out there, I'm just letting y'all know, this smells very New York Giants-ish. And y'all Giants fans, y'all know what I'm talking about. It was 2 years ago, okay? Came time to pay Danny Jones. Came time to pay Saquon Barkley. Now, contrary to rumors, I know for a fact the Giants did approach Saquon first. Saquon turned that offer down. They then paid Daniel Jones. We all know that was an unmitigated fucking disaster. Okay? I have news for you, Cowboys fans. You're going down this same path. You're going down this same path. Whew. It's going to be weird, man. Other NFL news and notes. I want to touch on some more post-draft news and notes from some other teams around the league. The Ravens were able to lay eyes and hands on Nate Wiggins and TJ Tampa. They were thoroughly impressed with both rookies over the course of this weekend, looking at them at camp. They like what they were shocked to get both of them in the position they felt. They thought Nate Wiggins would be going a lot sooner. TJ Tampa as well. Nonetheless, the most important thing is when they were actually on the field running the drills, in the coverages, in the practices. Excuse me. They were very excited from what they saw. Nate Wiggins and both TJ Tampa looked like they complement each other's games well. And having the injuries with Marlon Humphrey and not knowing what the status of Damarian Williams and some of your other corners are looking like, it's kind of good that they were able to draft 2 corners. The Eagles did this, the Lions did this, the Ravens did this. This is a smart thing to do. When you got older guys that's aging, they dealt with injuries, and you're paying them high salaries. I mean, next year, Marlon Humphrey's supposed to make $25 million. He probably ain't making that $25 million. Unless he's taking a cap reduction or they just outright say, hey, thanks for everything. He ain't getting that $25 million. So this is needed. However, one major concern that I have that I think, a lot of people who ever like the Ravens or don't even like the Ravens, just like fan of football, scouts preferably, something that a lot of people worry about, his frame. He's only 6'1", he's 194 pounds. He's going to have to bulk up. He's rangy, which is great, but he's going to have to bulk up to really play against some of the more physical corners in the AFC. You're playing Jamar Chase. You're going to be playing T. Higgins for this year while he's still a Bengal. You're still going to be playing some of the top receivers. You're playing George Pickens. You're going to have to put some weight on that body. It's not going to be enough for him to really sustain and beat in coverage. Press coverage is great, but these guys are sophisticated enough to beat press coverage. And the tools that you use at Clemson that were dominant, you're going to have to bring that up a notch to beat those guys. So it's going to be very interesting. But, they were definitely happy to see what they saw from Nate Wiggins and TJ Tampa. Notes are a little bit more extensive at Packers camp. The Packers, a couple of things that they've done differently going into this camp. They've changed their warm-up and workout routines to start the day, going into their practices and games. I think this is something that they're doing to combat the small tissue and the soft tissue injuries that they've experienced with players like Christian Watson over the past 2 years. I think it's a great idea. The only way change is really implemented is if it's implemented, or with the young guys going forward. And like I said, this is all pivotal. It's a pivotal year for the Packers. So not a shock here that something like this is being done. This type of change has been needed. Too many soft tissue injuries. Too many times they've lost guys for weeks on end for, toes or hamstrings, or calf strains, just things that, shouldn't really be happening or should be mitigated a lot quicker. So great to see that. According to reporter Wes, and I want to make sure I'm pronouncing his name correctly, Wes Hakowitz. Wes Hakowitz, I'm correct, yes. For looking at the defensive scheme that Jeff Hafley has implemented, he said it's definitely a breath of fresh air and change seeing 4 defensive linemen put their hand in the dirt, but it definitely gives you thrills and imagination to see Rashawn Gary and some of these guys lining up, applying pressure to the offensive line and the linebackers playing the coverage or coming off the edges when they do. It's definitely going to be interesting to see. I'm definitely ecstatic to see how this defense looks. Jeff Hafley, again, highly touted coming out of Boston College, coming there, and then acquiring the players that they acquire. I think they low-key had a great draft defensively, so it's going to be very interesting to see how this all looks. On the offensive end, Jordan Morgan, left tackle. He was definitely, he started out at left tackle, their first-round pick. This is not a shock to me. I mean, no Bakhtiari. What were you going to do? I mean, this kid is definitely, he fits the prototype. He's definitely a plug-and-play type guy right now, so no shock there. Some very good news again on speaking on the defensive front. Teron Harper and Evan Williams. They have been impressive at practice. Jordan Morgan was a second-round pick, not first-round pick. Edgerrin Cooper was a first-round pick. Nonetheless, getting back to Teron Harper and Evan Williams. They've been impressive at practice. Evan Williams has been flying around, again, showing the traits that he showed at Oregon, which made him a highly touted safety, a good safety in college, definitely a good prospect for the Packers, a guy that can definitely grow and be a future in their defense, a future stalwart in their defense. Teron Harper, again, looking good at the linebacker position. They liked how he was flying around. Evan Williams and Bullard are definitely building a nice rapport and a connection, which, again, if you know that you're drafted with these guys, you're going to be playing with these guys for a long while. It's definitely pivotal that you build a good rapport with them. Again, I'm highly impressed with what the Packers did on defense. I think these guys are going to be the future of their defense, especially on the back end. So kudos to them and what they're doing and it seems like how they're picking things up. Back on offense, they see Marshawn Lloyd looks quick and decisive, which is going to be key because, again, with the way Josh Jacobs' contract is structured and the way A.J. Dillon's contract is structured, both of those guys could be going after next year. So to see Marshawn Lynch looking good, looking decisive, picking up what they need him to pick up so far, the little bit, the dosage of the offense they've given him is crucial. And one other thing I wanted to highlight too, because this guy kind of gets no mention, but I want to make sure that I highlight him again. Kalen King, cornerback from Penn State. He forced a turnover at 7-on-7s, which again, granted, it's not contact, but again, still impressive. He forced a turnover at 7-on-7s, and first-round pick linebacker Edgerrin Cooper picked it up for a scoop and score. These are going to be the guys that are going to be, the future of this defense. And to see every last one of these guys to a man stepping up, making plays during rookie camp. And again, rookie camp, you're not trying to overhype it, but to see them already being impressive, where you're seeing Matt LaFleur saying, damn, he's taken aback by it, where the coaches, are taken aback by it. It's impressive. And just means brighter days and the sky being the limit for the Green Bay Packers. Nonetheless, that would be it for the NFL news and notes in that section. I want to make sure that I lead into now the next episode, which would be the Eagles post-draft coverage news and notes. So I want to thank you guys, as always, for just watching and listening and just staying with me and continuing to watch. I really don't know how much farther this could go, but I just know that as long as you guys continue to just plug in, like, share, and subscribe, it's going to continue to grow. So thank you as always. Love you guys. Take care. And I'll see you on the next one.